What's up, Facebook? I'm here, man. Let me just get myself to a good space. See if I can fix this. I like watching the. Okay. What is up? It's your girl, Kimberly Janelle. I am not with my better half today. Usually I am on live with Donald. And we're talking about People Rich and all the shows and things we have going on. But today I am here by myself to speak on my business, Kimberly Janelle Enterprises. I think it is ironic that I'm doing this on Freedom Day, Juneteenth, a day in which we celebrate true freedom of our ancestors. And so let me bring you up to speed a little bit. As usual, I don't wait on people to join me. If you watching live, comment live. If you're on the replay, comment replay. But let me bring you up to speed because there are some people who, can I do that? Okay, there it is. When you pop in, say hey in the chat. Yeah, so, hey Candy. I need to bring y'all up to speed. I have not been on live for a long time by myself speaking about my business. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't really have this conversation much with my husband until here recently. But, and I ain't gonna cry. I feel myself getting emotional. I have been struggling in my business. The only way that I could really describe it, that was the best way that I could describe it for the longest time, is that I was struggling. I'm struggling in this business. I can't, I'm struggling. And I struggled to make it to April 15th. For most of you who know me, you know that taxes has been my life this is year 18. Taxes has been my life, and it's what I've done. Even though there have been times where I'm like, I ain't doing it no more, but as soon as it was time, I find myself right back in it. This year was no different. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, if I'm gonna open it up to the public or if I'm just gonna take care of the people that I normally would take care of. And but at any rate, it probably was middle of March when I really realized that I was struggling in this business. And I didn't have the words. I used to struggle with depression a lot years ago, and it made sense then because I was in so much trauma and so much stuff was going on around me. It made sense for me to be depressed, right? For my levels to be off and for all of these things to be happening. So fast forward, even prior to me and Donald reconnecting and getting married and starting this company, I was in a better place. I moved back to Anderson in 2023. Did not want to, and was in a place of struggle. And that lasted for about 3, maybe 4 months. It took me about 4 months to get myself at an even keel. Thankful for the village that was around me at that time. But since that time, I was able to get myself, back to a good place where I wasn't worried about money, where I wasn't worried about paying bills, where, we didn't have to worry about what we gonna eat and all this stuff. Well, I was not in that place. I had moved into this space, hey baby girl, where I was actively preparing myself spiritually, mentally, and emotionally for my mate. Now, some people who have heard not very many people know this part of the story, but I was content with being listed in somebody's obituary as special friend of 22 years, Kimberly Dickerson, right? I was totally fine with not getting married again. But because I went through therapy and still in therapy, because I was going through therapy and was healing, my therapist made it very clear to me. She's like, baby, you are a wife. You picked a couple frogs and you was bamboozled a time or so, but you definitely are a wife. And so I was open to that whole idea once Donald and I circled back for the second time. So fast forward, me and Donald are good. We start this company. Everything's going great. My kids are healthy and happy, but I'm functioning in my business and I'm struggling. And I never put the word depressed to how I was feeling until a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago, that I was depressed. Because in my mind, I'm like, what do you have to be sad about? Why would you be depressed? You're not, and I'm comparing where I am now to what I was in years ago when I was depressed. Like, this is the complete opposite. What is this? Never thought that it could be depression. I'm just thinking, okay, I'm doing too much. I need to slow down. I got too many irons in the fire. I got da-da-da-da-da-da. I barely made it to April 15th. And I sent an email to all of my clients and said, hey, I'm shutting down April 15th. I need to take 2 weeks to get my bearings about myself. And then I will be back like May 1st to do the extensions. I put some people on extensions. And the closer I got to May 1st, y'all, it was like I fell deeper and deeper into whatever this was, this feeling. And I was trying to explain it to my husband. I said, the best way I could tell you that I feel is that I just feel like I've been dragged. I feel like my skin was peeled off and that I've just been dragged. There's no amount of sleeping that will help me not feel tired. There's not enough downtime where my mind's not thinking that will help me recover from this. I just felt like I was being dragged. I couldn't think of any better way to explain it, but nothing in my mind. I'm only getting emotional because I see my aunt just dropped in this chat. Hey, T. Nothing in my mind connected how I was feeling with depression. Nothing in my mind connected that. And so, to this day, y'all, I still have not opened my laptop to my tax business. It's right here. It has all my tax files on it. It has my tax software. And I won't lie to you. I've opened it, but it's dead because I haven't charged it. It won't come on. And I know where the charger is. And I got to get on there today to print a report for one of my clients. But I know that why I have struggled so much in the last 6 weeks with my business is because I needed to pivot. And I was so worried about everybody else that I was not being obedient. And I feel like, and this is only going to resonate with people who are believers, I feel like I was explaining it to one of my girlfriends. If I had a jacket, this was my shirt or jacket, and I had it on the ground, and I noticed that there was a bug on it, like the first thing I would do is pick it up and just shake it, right? I would shake it to get the bug off. And I feel like that's what God has been doing with me and my business, like shaking me to let it go, like just. And I've been holding on to how I've done business so hard that it pulled me into a hole that I'm just now being able to climb out of. And I know y'all see me on live, and me and Donald are kikiing and cracking up and all the things. I know you see me at the shows, and I'm loving on everybody, and I'm laughing, and I'm having a good time. But you wouldn't believe that when the camera goes off or when we go home from the show, I don't have much to say. And I'm internally concerned about turning that laptop back on. And so I just got to a point where I'm tired of being dragged. I'm tired of being dragged. I'm tired of feeling like God is doing me like this to let go of this business. And so I have had the Tax and Wealth Hub for entrepreneurs. I created that a year ago. I created the logo a year ago. The idea came to me a year ago. At least it's probably been longer than that, but I've been so afraid to pivot this business for all the wrong reasons, and I don't even need to go into that. But let me tell you what this community, how it's going to work. And I know it's a God thing because I shared it with 2 people, and the concept, the way that God gave it to me when I shared it with those people, they said, well, I don't think that's a good idea because, and they listed off all the reasons. And hey, Bush, oh my God, you need to, you probably know why you feeling dragged. I knew it was because I just would not let go. But I'm doing it. I'm doing it now. And I can honestly tell you, since I had this conversation with my husband last week about, pivoting and some of the things that I needed to do, and I've opened up my computer and I'm just typing away and my fingers won't stop, and I pause for a minute to cook dinner and I'm right back on it, and I've been able to write a book in like 5 days. Like, wrote it, the cover, I've been talking about this for a year, and I've been able to put it all together in like 5 days. And it's good stuff. Oh my God. It's exactly how I would show up if I was in person. Like, you gonna get it the way that I would give it to you. It ain't this fluffy stuff that you read it and you like, okay, that's cool information, but what do I need to do? My book is gonna tell you exactly what you need to do. So let me tell you about the Tax and Wealth Hub. Thank you, Joy. I recognized about a year ago that there was no place for entrepreneurs to learn this, the backside of business in a way that makes sense for them. You can Google, or we got Chat GPT now, right? You can ask Chat. And Chat is pretty good at giving you, if you know what to say to Chat, it can tell you exactly what you need to know, right? But there is a space in the world for subject matter experts to be able to share with you step by step for you how you need to do certain things. And I'm at the place where I'm no longer the practitioner. I'm not the person that's sitting in the mud and putting the mud, clearing the mud and making the water clear. That's what bookkeepers do, tax preparers, all of those practitioners. I'm not a practitioner anymore. I need to move to the space where I'm educating, where I'm making things clear for people, because I've been in the industry long enough that I am that person now. 15 plus years. This is year 18 for me. I've been in this industry and I don't love it any less. Now, some of the people that I've served in the last few years, I don't really like them because they haven't been really nice to me, but I still love this industry. I love entrepreneurs. I love the tax space and all things money and numbers. And so here's how the Tax and Wealth Hub for entrepreneurs is going to work. It is going to be a community where anything that you're looking to understand, you're going to be able to find it in the hub. Okay. We're going to call it the hub. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to do things in person. There are going to be some things that I'm going to do in person, but there are going to be a lot of things that's going to be available to you online. To be a part of this community, to be a part of the community. And I was going over this with some people, like trying to figure out the best way. And then I had to stop and was like, okay, God, you got to tell me how to build this, because when you tell me how to build it, it doesn't feel like I won't have to worry about feeling dragged. If I'm doing exactly what you tell me to do, then I don't have to worry about being out of order, being out of line, being out of his will, all of that. So it's crazy how God speaks to me. He can speak to me in allowing a podcast to cross my path, or I see something, and I've gone through a process of learning how to trust when I hear God speaking to me. And so the community that I'm going to build, I ran across a podcast, and again, it's crazy how it even came to me, because I was driving by myself and opened up YouTube, and it was like the first thing there. I'm like, this looks interesting. I don't even know why it was of interest to me. It would have normally not been of interest to me, but I listened to it on my way to Indianapolis, and the more the girl talked, it was like God was saying, just like that, do it just like that, do it just like that. So let me tell you how this hub is going to work. You're going to pay one fee to be a part of the Tax and Wealth community. Just one time. But once you get in, you pay the membership fee one time to get into the hub. But then once you get in, you have an opportunity to make money on the community too. And so most businesses fail the first 3 years because they don't have the knowledge to make to that 5th year mark where most are successful. You're right, because we don't know what to do with that money. Like, as we start making the money, we don't know what to do with it. We don't know how to keep track of stuff so that all of our ducks are in a row. We don't know what to claim on our taxes. We don't know what to do when we get a letter from the IRS, which 99% of the time the letter is wrong. But because we don't open it and because we don't open it enough time, because we don't know what to send them, we end up losing, and IRS wins that case, right? So you're absolutely right. And for all of the okay, I get it. Telling me hand gestures is gone, whatever. For the way that I love this industry, the way that I love taxes in the way that I do, you need somebody like me who loves to talk about receipts and what you need to make sure your receipts say and how you need to keep them and easy ways to track your mileage. You need somebody who loves it that much that can break it down for you and make it make sense so that it doesn't feel overwhelming. The IRS is already the IRS to some people is just as scary as the COP. Okay. If you see an officer come, most of us start sweating a little bit. We sit up a little straighter. We slow down. We surveying the scene. The same way we feel that way about the police, there are people who feel that way about the IRS. And I get it, because if you don't know the language, if you don't understand the code, if you don't know, then it can feel intimidating. And you need somebody who looks like me, who loves it the way that I do, who can explain it the way that I do in your back pocket. Okay. So I was trying to think, this hub, do I want to do like a recurring membership? Do I want to do something where you pay something every month and you hear these people, you see people online talking about, you can get, you can make 6 figures in a month by having these memberships and pay people $27. Now, let me bring something to the forefront. You know that there have been things that you've opted into and you done forgot about it, but they get their money every month. Netflix is one of them. Netflix. You don't think about Netflix. If you're not somebody who watches it on a regular basis, you don't think about Netflix and that $24 until it hits your account and you see it come out. You're like, dang. Or some subscription, it's something that you done opted into and forgot to cancel. $24, $19, $49. We don't think about that stuff after we've activated it until it hits our account. Then we're like, dang, I need to cancel that membership. And then we get distracted, or the phone call take too long, and then we don't end up doing it until it hits your account the next month. You're like, dang it, I meant to cancel. There are many gurus out here. There are many people who have prided themselves on making 6 figures in a month, 6 figures in 6 months, because they have created these memberships and people opt into them and forget to cancel them. So they getting $29, $49, $49, $97 every month from people who aren't actually using these services, but the people who created the communities are making money. And at one point I had a group, it was called the Accountability Group. It was $97. It was for entrepreneurs who needed to have some accountability. They needed access to a tax professional. It had some bells and whistles in it. And I was getting frustrated because the people who were in the group who was paying the $97 a month wouldn't use the benefits. I'm like, hey, don't y'all need to talk? Like, hey, don't you want to schedule a call? Hey, I don't want to just take your money and you not utilize me like this. Hey, don't you have something you need to go over? Hey, will you make your appointment this month so we can talk about something? And so because I have empathy in my business, I don't like just charging people over and over and over for services that they're not going to use. That's not a good way for me to say that I have recurring revenue every month in my business because people pay to be a part of a group that they don't use. That doesn't feel good to me. And so while I could go to the world and see how the world is doing it, I could go to, a coach or some and get all this advice on what to do. I decided, Lord, show me how to do this. Show me how I need to do this. Show me how I need to structure this thing so that I can feel good about what I'm putting out there in the world, so that I can fulfill what it is that you have assigned me to do, so that I can use the gifts and talents. I'm an educator by nature. Don't put me in a situation and think that I'm not going to find a way to teach or educate or help explain, make sure everybody is clear because that's just who I am. So the Tax and Wealth Hub is $97. It's one time. You pay it one time to get into the community, which is on the school platform. And what you're going to find when you get in the school community, the Tax and Wealth Hub, you pay it one time, but then you have the ability to become a promoter of the community. Well, what do we do when we promote? Whenever I promote, if it's something that I'm going to see, if it's a movie I'm going to see, we already do it naturally. Hey, y'all seen Straw? Y'all seen Tyler Perry's Straw? Hey, y'all been to the movies and seen that? We promote naturally anyway, right? Well, when you become a promoter of my community, you can sign up for an affiliate link and you can get paid every time somebody joins the community. So you pay $97 one time, and it's all these classes and speakers and all of this stuff that's going to be in this community. But you can also become a promoter. And every time you tell a friend, yo, you need to join this community because I just took this workshop, and all the replays, all of that stuff is going to be in there. People ask me all the time, well, can I sign up for your workshops? It's going to be a replay. The replay going to be in the community. So you pay $97 one time, and you're going to get access to all of these workshops and stuff that's going to be housed in the community. Moving forward, you in there forever. So $97, you join the community, you get all the teachings that you want, plus you can make money by sending people to the community. So if I make 50% of $97, I'm not going to do that math. That's like $47. So you pay $97 to come in this community. I give you a promoter link. And every time there's something that happens in the community, you tell your friends, hey, come get in this community. You want to learn about business. You gonna earn $47 and some change. Whatever 50% of $97 is, you get 50%. Every time somebody joins the community, you make 50%. So you paying $97 to be in this community that's going to teach you how to run your business. Plus you make $40-some for everybody that you invite to come be in this community too. So easy math. All you got to do is invite 2 people, and that pays for what you just paid for. But you can do it for however long you want. Every time you share the link, your promoter link, with somebody about a workshop that's happening in there, you make 50%. I'm sitting thinking like, God, so I'm about to create this community where I can teach as much as I want to. I can bring in these people who look like me, who can teach and break it down in a way that we can understand so that we can get ahead. And you helping me to create a way that other people can make money from learning this information. Okay. So for somebody who wants to make money in a business, you don't quite know, I don't really know what to do. Offer the community. It's going to be a whole bunch of teaching and stuff going on in there. And you know people just like I do who hustling, they got side gigs, they got whatever. I'm going to run a whole side gig academy in the community. How do you take what you're doing and making some money with? How do you make it a legit business? Well, I'm going to run a class in there. How do you, okay, so I got an LLC. I had a girl tell me, well, I registered my LLC with the state, but I don't know what to do with it after that. Cool. I'm going to teach a workshop. It's called, I got an LLC. Now what? In the community, though. So you know people that have an LLC. You know people who want to make a legit business. You know people who are doing things to make money, but they have no idea what they're doing in the business side of that thing. Well, you come into the community, the Tax and Wealth Hub, and we're going to teach you everything that you need to know in there. Now, I'm going to see if I could turn this around. You can't read it because it's going to be backwards, but I've made this list multiple times. Content to teach. I'm always making lists of stuff that I think about that I need to teach. But I'm like, teach it where? I got a whole workshop series. You can't read this because it's backwards, but adulting. I'm gonna do a whole series on adulting. Adulting 101. There's so many people in their late 20s, early 30s who was never taught about money, and they don't got nobody to talk to or ask about it, or where do I go? Or second chance. Okay, I was doing pretty good and I done messed up. How do I get myself back on track? All of that is going to be in the Tax and Wealth Hub. Now, caveat, it does say that it's for entrepreneurs, but you are a whole person, which means that there's some things that you need to do and need to know how to do personally so that you can show up well in your business. If you don't know how to manage your own money personally, when you start making money in business, then you're going to start funneling all that money over into your personal and blowing it. But then when you need to buy stuff for your business, you're not going to know how to do that because you don't know how to manage your money. So I'm going to host a summer boot camp series to get this whole thing kicked off. The workshops will be at no cost to you. It's not, Bush. Adulting is not for the weak. And I'm getting ready to do an Adulting 101, the college edition, for these kids that's going off to college. If you got an incoming freshman, or you got a graduating senior that's going to be a freshman in college, I need to talk to them. I need to talk to them and tell them about these credit card offers that's going to be all over the place when they get on campus. I need to talk to them about scholarships versus student loans. Don't go in there and getting all the money that they say that you can get. I'm going to host that. I'm going to do that in July. I'm going to do a whole series of workshops about money. And it's going to be housed in the Tax and Wealth Hub. Again, it says for entrepreneurs, but it's literally focused on the whole self. It is focused on the whole self. You got to know how to handle money personally. You got to know how to manage credit personally, and then what that looks like for your business. You gotta know all of that stuff. You gotta know how to not commingle your funds. You can't be paying your personal stuff out of your business bank account, and why that's a bad thing and what to do. I had somebody say, well, when I make that money, I need it in my home. I get it. But there's a way to do it so that you still look like a legit business, so that you don't lose your LLC status. And so I'm going to be sharing a lot of stuff about the Tax and Wealth Hub. Marie said, I got jammed up by those credit card offers in undergrad. I didn't pay off some of those credit cards for years. I'm telling you, listen, I did not go, I didn't do take the traditional route to college because I was so in love and didn't want to leave my boyfriend at the time. But I racked up them student loans. I got the maximum every single time. And baby, guess who is still sitting up under undergrad student loans? And I'm talking about almost 6 figures for an undergrad degree because I didn't know no better. And so I'm going to have a workshop to talk to these students. And there's going to be a section where I'm going to talk to these parents, because parents, don't you go in there and tell your kid to get the maximum amount of money that they can get and talk to them about buying a car and all these other things. No, ma'am. No, sir. That's not what we doing here in Beyonce's day and age. We're not doing that. And people need to understand. People just need to understand. This is not free money. If you got money left over, it's yours. No, actually, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because I don't have to pay back anything that's mine. If it's mine to keep. And that ain't how these student loans work. It's called a loan for a reason. And these kids need to understand that. So, I have a book. My book that I finished. I can't believe I finished it. And I was telling my husband this morning, I'm nervous about putting it out there. But I'll drop the info for the book on my page. And the school community is open. The Tax and Wealth Hub website is up and ready. And I'm going to put some old content that I have in there that's still good stuff, but I'm going to re-record it in July. So you can become a part of the hub already. Again, like I said, it's $97 and it's a one-time fee, but you can absolutely sign up for a promoter link. And when you get the promoter link, that means that for everybody that comes in to the hub through your link, you make 50% of that $97. This is not, when I shared that with somebody, they was like, oh, that's not a good business idea, because if they don't pay if they don't pay every time, the valuation, I'm not doing this to get rich. I'm not doing this to make monthly recurring revenue. I'm doing this because I have a gift to teach and I have a love for tax, and my people are dying for the lack of knowledge that I have. And so for you to pay access to the community where all the knowledge is going to be $97, and then you get an opportunity to make that $97 back, brings joy to my soul. As I was listening to it, I'm like, oh my God, that is the way. That is the way. That is the way to empower people to not only get the knowledge. First of all, invest in yourself. So you got to pay the $97 first to get access to the knowledge, but then you get an opportunity to make that money back by sharing the community with people that you know. So I'm excited about it. I hope that you guys are excited about it. And I feel my strength coming back, and in a way that I'm going to open this tax computer today and feel good about it. So, yeah, if you got any questions about the hub, I would love to answer them. If you want to be a part of the hub, I'm going to drop links. I'm going to drop links so that you can be a part of the hub. Again, it's $97. If you want a promoter link so that you can share the hub and make money from sharing the hub, I would love to do that for you as well. And the book that I wrote, it's a 3-volume series. The first volume is what I've already published. The second is probably going to be done before I go on vacation at the end of June. But it's only $27. Again, I'm not trying to get rich from this. I want to give you some good information so that you can structure yourselves and your business to create the life that you want and leave the legacy that you're supposed to. So I'll drop all the links for that stuff. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Thank you for being on here. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Bush, praying for me. I appreciate that. All right, y'all. That's it. I love y'all. Enjoy this Juneteenth. Celebrate in a way that feels good to you. And we'll talk soon.